Hi, in this video we will look at something called while loops in JavaScript. And a while loop is basically a piece of code or a set of instructions that will only run while a test condition evaluates to true. So a while loop will repeat a set of instructions or code over and over again until the test condition evaluates to false and the loop breaks. And then the rest of the program will continue running. So you can have a range of different test conditions. For example, you could have a password that needs to be entered and matched to a correct password. You might use a counter that counts through and repeats code a several number of times, a few times, and then breaks once the counter's reached the number. Or you can use a variety of different test conditions in loops, and that's why you need to use conditional operators to compare two different values. Okay, so firstly we'll have a look at the syntax or structure of a while loop. So basically we have here a counter variable. So I've got a variable called counter, and it's declared here and initialized with the value 1. So it's given an initial value of 1. On line 10 we set up the while loop here. So we use the while keyword, and then in brackets, that's where we put our test condition. So the condition here is while the counter is less than or equal to 10, write this is paragraph, and then append to that sentence there the counter number, which is initially set to 1, and then end that paragraph. Okay, and then the last instruction in that loop is to increase the counter variable by 1. So counter plus plus is the equivalent of counter equals counter plus 1. Okay, so we've got while counter is less than or equal to 10, that there is a conditional operator. So less than or equal to. You could have greater than, you could have less than, you could have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, or you could have equals to, which is a double equal sign. So you need to make sure you don't confuse single equal sign with the double equal sign. Remember that single equals is used to assign a value to a variable, and double equal sign is used to compare two things. Okay, and then you can also use exclamation mark equals, which is saying counter is not equal to 10. But we'll change it back to less than or equal to. So while the counter is less than or equal to 10, write this message. So I'll say this is paragraph. First iteration of the loop, so the first time the loop runs, it will say this is paragraph 1. The counter will increase by 1, so the counter will become 2. The loop will run again. Okay, so we'll go back up to the top of the loop, and the counter will still be less than or equal to 10. So it'll just display the message, this is paragraph 2. And then the counter will increase to 3. It will repeat again, it will say this is paragraph 3, and so on until paragraph 10. And then at that point, the counter will have increased to 11. So the counter variable will now be 11. And the test condition will run again. It'll say while counter is less than or equal to 10. Well, once the counter has become 11, the test condition will now evaluate to false. So the rest of the code will run. Okay, so this will all happen very quickly. And if we run that in Chrome, that's what it looks like. So it displays every paragraph in every iteration of the loop. And an iteration is just every time that the loop repeats. Okay. Alright, so that's how that works. Another way of using a while loop, rather than using something like a counter, is to check a string. So we've got a variable here called password, and the password is equal to green. We have a while loop here. So while the password is equal to green, display the message you have entered the correct password. Now, we need to make sure if we're using a string, so So we're comparing and checking that the password variable is actually equal to green. Because it's a string, this time we're using quotation marks. However, there is a problem with this code. The problem is that this loop will run and run and run over and over again. So it's an infinite loop because the password is hard-coded to green. It's set to green and there's no way it can be changed when the program is running. So the password will always be green, so this condition will always evaluate to true, which means it will always be trying to display this message. And basically it just won't run properly in your browser. It's just not going to run. If I go to test this in Chrome, it just hangs, so it doesn't know what to do. Okay, now that's a problem, so it's not going to work properly. What we can do instead is set it up like this. So this time we're actually using, we're getting some user input. So the variable password isn't just equal to green. The variable password is equal to what, the password is green, but the user has to actually input the password rather than it's being stored here permanently. So we use a prompt, and the prompt asks for the user to enter the password, and then there's a while loop here, and instead of the password being equal to green as a condition, the password is not equal to green. So while the password is not equal to green, display another prompt. You have entered the wrong password, try again. When the user tries a different password, the password variable will be updated to whatever they enter in that prompt box. Okay? And then the loop will run again. So it will check again, is the password not equal to green? If the password is not equal to green, then tell them again they've entered the wrong password, they have to enter it again. When they finally enter the right password, so when it is green, it will come back to this condition. It will say, while password is not equal to green. Well, the password is now equal to green, so this test condition will evaluate to false, and the program will jump down to here and run the rest of the code in the program. And that code is just saying a little message, you have entered the correct password, welcome. So let's run that. Okay, so enter the password. Firstly, I'm going to try red. Nope. It says you have entered the wrong password, try again. This time I'll try green. And it says you have entered the correct password, welcome. Okay, so if I kept on entering the wrong password, it would never end. It would just keep asking me to enter the right password until I finally entered green as a password, and then it will display this and the loop will stop running. Okay, so that's how you set up a while loop, and that is the syntax of the while loop. So we have the while keyword, we have a test condition in brackets, and then the code to run inside that loop is inside curly braces. Alright, anything outside those curly braces after that point is outside of the loop. So this is code that will run after the loop has run. Okay, thanks for watching.